Now at 10, temperatures are dropping across the 4 states, potentially making already problematic road conditions worse in some areas. We'll look at how it's impacted roads in some of the worst hit places. Plus,
while most of the sidewalks around the metro area are pretty clear, that doesn't mean that your chance of slipping and falling is zero. I'm Chris Warner with When That Slip and Fall Calls for Tylenol or a Trip to the Hospital.
And the federal government takes the state of Missouri to court.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The wintry precip isn't falling any longer, but temperatures are, and it's going to be dangerously cold overnight. This is KOAM News at 10. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, thankfully we got all the freezing rain, sleet, and snow out of the region over the past several hours, and our temperatures are dropping. In fact, our high today is 58 at midnight, and of course we dropped all day long as we had the showers, we had the thunderstorms, the freezing rain, sleet, and snow. Heaviest snows in our northern counties, nothing at all in our southern counties. So the farther north you go, the worse it got. But all these snow showers are pushing out of here. We look good now. We have clear skies. Unfortunately, it's getting really cold, and you can see exactly where that heavy snowpack is. Neodesha, Yates Center, Chanute, Parsons, Iola, Fort Scott, over toward Nevada, and that's the area that temperatures are dropping down into the single digits and near zero a little bit later on tonight. At least the winds are starting to diminish, so we're not going to have to deal with much of a wind chill throughout the overnight hours. 9 degrees for most of the Joplin area, 22 by 9, 35 by noon, high temp of 41. So we do start to warm up, but we also have more storm systems down the road. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. As Doug indicated, in our viewing area, the road conditions generally got worse the farther north and west you travel. KOAM's Bronte Soronsky spoke with the emergency managers in Labette County and Allen County, Kansas, and has more on how they and their crews work to keep drivers safe.
Road conditions in southeast Kansas weren't great for anyone out on the roads, and they got worse the more you headed north.
Yeah, the roads aren't very good right now. If you don't need to be out, please don't.
Charles Morris, Emergency Management Director for Labette County, says they saw a few accidents relating to this weather.
We had a 2-car non-injury accident south of town here. We have a semi-jackknife somewhere out around the Neosho River Bridge on 400 Highway. And then we had a limb come down, we assumed due to ice, took the power service out to a house.
Over in Allen County, their emergency manager says they have had some slide-offs, but no reported injuries.
We have had a few minor incidents where people have slidden off the road, but no collisions where anybody's gotten hurt. Some people have gotten stuck just on the side of the road, but nothing major.
He credits it to many people staying off the roads and staying safe.
A lot of people are just staying home, and that is what we recommend, just to stay off the road.
But when people do need to be on the road in conditions similar to those on Thursday, Morse has some tips to stay safe.
If you can cancel it or postpone it, please do. If you do go out, make sure your phone's charged, extra water, extra blankets. Give the road crews, the county and city and state, give the guys time to get their job done, get the roads cleared and stuff down. With it turning cold like it is, it's going to be tough for them to get everything done in a timely manner before the cold weather gets here.
And in the end, it's safer to just stay home. In Labette and Allen counties, Bronte Soronsky, KOAM News.
One key tip from both emergency managers is to plan ahead before hitting the road. It's been quite a mix of conditions all across our area. In some places, lots of snow and ice, and others, not so much. Regardless, wintry weather can create a slippery condition when you step outside. KOAM's Chris Warner has more on what those hidden risks are.
Sidewalks down here in Joplin are mostly clear, but there's still some patches of ice, and that means, despite how clear it looks, you could still manage to slip and fall. Reddingsville Fire Chief Steve Coates lays out the risks.
There's several different injuries that can take place, mostly to either the arms or the head, back of the head from the fall, depending on which direction the fall is, or ankles.
But when should you treat it at home versus going to the hospital?
If it's a situation where it doesn't feel too bad right now, and it starts hurting a little bit later, you may consider medical treatment. If within 48 hours the pain hasn't gone away, they probably ought to seek medical treatment.
Chief Coates says the most concerning situation is a head injury.
Any kind of head trauma where the brain has impacted the interior of the skull could put you into a situation where you have a concussion.
Chief Coates says if you hit your head, even if it doesn't hurt that much, you should seek medical attention immediately to rule out a more serious injury. He says there are some key symptoms to watch out for if you do hit your head.
They could feel nauseated, they could have a headache, they could feel really tired, hard to keep their eyes open.
There's a couple of simple ways to avoid a slip and fall in the wintry weather. The first, just stay home. But if you can't, take a walk on the grassy side.
Usually grass is more porous and the ice isn't smooth like it would be on like a sidewalk. And if you have the opportunity, you walk in the grass and lessen those opportunities to slip and fall.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Chief Coates says it's important to watch out for black ice on sidewalks and to take it slow even on snow because there could be ice hidden beneath. Still ahead, some Kansas lawmakers propose a Parents' Bill of Rights to give parents more say in what their children learn. And the latest on tensions in Ukraine as President Biden warns of an invasion that could come within days. Republican lawmakers in Kansas who want to limit what public schools in Kansas teach about racism have settled on a proposed Parents' Bill of Rights. It would give people outside the education system more power to shape what happens in classrooms and school libraries. A measure before a Kansas House committee would require schools to post information online about classroom materials and allow people to push to remove materials from libraries. The U.S. Department of Justice is suing Missouri over a new law banning local police from enforcing federal gun laws. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says the state law impedes criminal law enforcement in Missouri. And the federal government contends states can't declare federal laws invalid. But Missouri's Attorney General sees it differently. Republican Eric Schmidt says the Justice Department pulled out of a crime-fighting partnership because of the law, and Schmidt says the law is on Missouri's side. Shelling in Ukraine today ramped up Western fears of an imminent Russian invasion. The U.S. estimates more than 150,000 Russian troops are encircling Ukraine, almost half within 30 miles of the border. President Biden says an invasion could happen in the next several days. Skylar Henry has more now from the White House.
As tensions mount, President Biden says the threat Russia will invade Ukraine is very high.
They have not moved any of their troops out. They've moved more troops in.
The president also accused Russia of sparking a so-called false flag operation Thursday in eastern Ukraine, where a kindergarten was shelled. Both the Ukrainian military and Russian-backed separatists traded blame.
I am here today not to start a war, but to prevent one.
In an unplanned stop at the UN, Secretary of State Antony Blinken told the Security Council Russia could conduct a terrorist bombing inside Russia, a drone strike, or conduct a fake or even real chemical weapons attack.
This could be a violent event that Russia will blame on Ukraine, or an outrageous accusation that Russia will level against the Ukrainian government.
Blinken says cyber attacks, missiles, and bombs across Ukraine could follow. In Brussels for NATO meetings, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said Russian President Vladimir Putin would be to blame for the humanitarian toll.
It will be clear to the entire world that he started a war with diplomatic options left on the table.
But diplomacy took another hit as Russia expelled the second-ranking American official from the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, a move U.S. officials called baseless. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Secretary of State Blinken invited Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to meet next week in Europe. The Russians have responded with proposed dates, which the State Department says the U.S. is accepting, provided there is no further Russian invasion of Ukraine. Later, we look at new research concerning pregnant women and the COVID-19 vaccines.
Plus, a super cold night for us tonight. Temperatures dipping near zero in spots. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a nasty day for us today. Temperatures have been dropping all day long. In fact, they're still dropping across the region. We had the freezing rain, sleet, and snow, thunderstorms in a lot of areas last night before our temperature started to drop. Clear skies now, nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo's just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Not much wintry weather in Seneca, or just outside of Seneca, as areas along and south of I-44 really just got a little bit of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain. That was about it. So through most of the metro, we picked up about 1/4 of an inch of ice, of freezing rain, which is quite a bit. And then we got sleet on top of that. Of course, sleet just doesn't pile up. So anywhere from a dusting south of Joplin to closer to 2 inches once you get up into Crawford and also Barton County. 3 or 4 inches just to the west of Pittsburgh, and then Chanute, Iola, Yates Center, Fredonia, those areas mainly in the 4 to 7 range. Nevada, 3 to 4 inches. And then a stripe of 7 to 10 from Wichita all the way to Kansas City. Look at the temps. So we dropped into the 20s by about early this morning, and then we are continuing to drop. And look at the cold air. Yates Center, Chanute, Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada. So all the areas that have a pretty thick snowpack, you're going to go near 0 tonight. Everybody else will drop back near 10 by the time we head into the morning hours. At least the winds aren't strong. They were kind of breezy earlier today, but they have been diminishing a bit over the past couple hours. Outside, clear skies, 18 west winds at about 3. Humidity is kind of high at 78%. Clouds have been breaking up behind the system, so we have pretty much clear skies. But you can see the thunderstorms we had last night, especially along the I-44 corridor. Freezing rain, sleet, dry slot, back band of snow that we got during the afternoon hours. Thankfully, we're good now. This system is racing off toward the east. Not too much is going on out west. So that's our weather as we head into the next few days. Let's go through time. Let's break this down for you. Temps by morning, 0 to 5 degrees in our northern counties. Everybody else kind of 10-ish or so. We do warm up tomorrow, which is good. We get above freezing. I think most of us go into lower 40s. Now, our northern counties where you do have thicker snow, you're going to stay into the 30s, but you're going to do some serious melting. 9 to start, 34 by noon, high temp, 41 during the afternoon. Not as cold tomorrow night. Most of us drop mid-20s, probably teens in our upper or our northern counties due to the snowpack. And then on Saturday, we rebound again, right back up into the mid-40s. We're going to go into the 60s on Sunday, and then we're going to press 70 by Monday, which is kind of crazy. Chance for thunderstorms late Monday. Front drops through, we cool down Tuesday. Wednesday into Thursday, here comes our next storm system. This is the one we're going to have to watch next week with, again, pretty good chances for freezing rain, sleet, and snow. But that is almost a week away. 41 tomorrow, 46 Saturday, 63 on Sunday, almost 70 degrees. Very Florida-like weather now on Monday.
That'll feel nice, won't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. There's new evidence that getting vaccinated against COVID-19 while pregnant can also provide protection to the baby. Mandy Gaither has more on the research.
Right now, no child under the age of 5 is eligible to get the COVID-19 vaccine in the U.S., but if you're pregnant, a new CDC study suggests getting vaccinated also helps shield your baby from the virus.
The mom getting vaccinated is really the only way you can protect that baby as far as giving it antibodies. There's no other way.
The study says babies of mothers who got 2 doses of either Moderna or Pfizer's vaccines during pregnancy had a reduced risk of being hospitalized with COVID-19 in the first 6 months of their lives. The protection appeared to be higher among infants whose mothers were vaccinated later in pregnancy. The researchers noted that COVID-19 antibodies likely could be transferred across the placenta to the baby during pregnancy and might provide protection to infants. Vaccines also provide critical protection for those who are pregnant and are recommended before and during pregnancy.
Pregnant women have a suppressed immune system, so they have a higher risk of coronavirus and COVID complications. So vaccinating them is very important. But now we see, too, that by encouraging vaccine in pregnant women, you can help them give antibodies to their newborn, which is every mom wants to protect their child.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The researchers say vaccination during pregnancy for other diseases like flu or whooping cough also provides protection for infants during their first 6 months of life, a time when they're most vulnerable for severe illness, but they aren't yet old enough for a vaccination themselves. Another company is dropping its mask mandate. Tyson Foods is joining the wave of major companies loosening the mask requirements. The nation's biggest meat producer told workers at some facilities that starting this week, fully vaccinated individuals can remove their mask. Face coverings will still need to be worn at some plants to comply with local laws and regulations. Walmart is out with its quarterly report card and it beat expectations. The world's biggest retailer says profit topped $3.5 billion on sales of more than $152 billion. It's the first of the retailers to report, and its results are looked at as a yardstick for how the industry is faring in an inflationary climate. Coming up in sports, the Pitt State men's track and field team climbs into the top spot in the national rankings. And a special moment in Macaulay's senior night game versus Thomas Jefferson. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
Well, tonight is senior night for the Macaulay Warriors. The Warriors face Thomas Jefferson this evening in their final home game of the season. We'll start with the girls' game. Macaulay enters the night 15-10 overall, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Check this out. Macaulay senior Kaylee Teeter, she suffered a season-ending injury earlier this season. Here, though, gets back on the floor, scores her final 2 points on senior night. She finishes third in program history, 1,383 points. Another senior, Avery Emminger, collects the rebound and put back there. Then Kennedy Dury. This is a bounce you only get on senior night, all right? Warriors go to half up 21-10. Second half, Chloe Williamson scores and the foul. But back to Kennedy Dury. Easy to here. She scores 22, moves into fourth on the Macaulay all-time scoring list. Macaulay sends the seniors out the right way, winning 50-27.
I never thought this moment would come where it'd be my last home game, and to do it with my best friends. It was a very humbling experience where I was just like, I'm never going to get this back. Even going on to college, I'm never going to have these type of teammates. And so I just want to cherish every moment. I wanted to cry the first quarter, just coming out and being like, this is my last time with my school behind me right now in the stands, in my home atmosphere. Yeah, it was tough putting it aside, but it also gave me fuel to, go out with a bang.
After the girls' game, the boys hit the floor at Macaulay. It's a tough one for the Warriors, facing the 17-6 Cavaliers. And Thomas Jefferson does get it done over Macaulay, 59-46. Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern basketball split a rivalry doubleheader on Wednesday night in Joplin. On the women's side, the Lions rolled by the Gorillas 80-65 for their 12th consecutive win. And Maddie Stokes and Lacey Stokes, like always, came up big for Southern. Maddie finished with a double-double, 25 points, 13 rebounds. Lacey filled up the stat sheet once again, 22 points to go along with 7 assists and 5 rebounds. But redshirt freshman Haley Grant cannot overlook her efficient night. She went 13 points, 16 rebounds, going 4 for 5 from the field and 5 for 6 at the free throw line.
She's insanely athletic. She's tall, she can jump out of the gym. And I told Coach, I was like, I told him we should just ISO one side out because there was no way a girl was staying in front of Haley, because she's just lanky and she reaches out and gets those. And then to have her rebounding, especially on the defensive end, is just huge in that fourth quarter.
First half, she had, 2 tip-ins, just jumped up over the top of everybody. And then in the second half, she got to the basket a couple times and did some good things, knocked her free throws down. And then she just goes and gets rebounds.
In the men's game last night, it was a slow start for Pittsburgh State, but they did get it done. The Gorillas were down by as much as 12 in the first half, but turned it around to win 95-82. Bobby Arthur Williams finished with 11 points, Tyler Hawkins 18, RJ Lawrence finished with 21. But the story of the night, that dude right there shooting, Magic Relaford. Relaford had his best game so far in a Pitt State uniform, finishing with a team-high 24 points. Labette County High School product was 5 for 9 from 3, 7 of 14 from the field. Also finished with 5 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 assists. Well, this week has been a huge week for the Pitt State men's track and field team. Over the weekend, the Gorillas set 7 new school records, hosting the 7th annual Gorilla Indoor Classic. And that includes sophomore Braylon Brewer and freshman LJ Kiner. Now, Brewer was named the MIAA Men's Track Athlete of the Week after setting a new school record in the 200 and breaking his own school record in the 400. Kiner was the league's field athlete of the week after posting the top mark in Division II this season, breaking the school record in the triple jump. After the big weekend, the Gorillas climbed to the top spot in the national rankings for the first time in program history. They know the pressure of being number one, but they're letting that pressure drive them through the end of the season.
People are going to be coming for us. We're going to have that target on our backs. Team, just the men teams in general, and the women's team are going to have targets on our back. We've got to let the pressure kind of like drive us and make us do better.
Still a lot more we can do, and we are still going to do a lot more, honestly, throughout the season. We're not done yet.
They show up every day with the purpose of what they need to achieve. They really don't get too wrapped up into rankings. It's nice to have it. It's nice to be recognized, but we all know that rankings don't mean anything. What really matters is when you show up on that day. And our guys have had that mission to showing up every day ever since Outdoor Nationals of being better at the national level. So our guys are self-driven, and we're just kind of trying to stay calm and show up every day and do what we need to do.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Seaman Marvin Correll served in the U.S. Navy. He's from Columbus, Kansas, and we are proud to salute Seaman Marvin Correll. He's tonight's four-state hero. Boy, just as you told us, we got quite a mix of precipitation today.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's all past us now.
It is long gone. It's still on the ground, and it's going to be cold for us tonight. Northern counties near 0, everybody else right about 10, but at least we get near 40 tomorrow, 46 Saturday, and then near 70 on Monday. Could get a little rain snow mix Monday night, and we really need to watch next Thursday.
Oh boy, he's laughing. He's enjoying this.
You're sick.
Final sports note.
Oh, we told you it was senior night for the Macaulay Warriors. Kennedy Dury and Kaylee Teeter, both seniors. Teeter finishes third in the all-time scoring list for Macaulay. Dury finishes fourth. So two fantastic small school players.
Bittersweet night for those players and their fans. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show, 5 a.m., and let's make it a great tomorrow.